This is a Channel Africa podcast. You can also get Channel Africa on satellite, PAS10, DSTV Audio Bouquet 802, and OpenView Bouquet, Channel 628.
Now, African cities are at a crossroads with rapid population growth and urbanization, and a demand for a smarter mobility solution cannot be underestimated. VUKA Africa Mobility will host the Smarter Mobility Summit 2024 under the theme Embracing the New Urban Era Through Smarter Mobility from the 2nd to the 4th of October in Johannesburg, South Africa. Now, the summit aims to shape the future of mobility on the continent. And for more on this, we're joined on the line by Ben Pullen, the Group Director for Smarter Mobility Africa. Ben, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Tell us about the Smarter Mobility Summit. What's it all about?
So the summit, which takes place on the 2nd to the 4th of October, is all about improving how we move people and goods. And why is that important? Well, it's to embrace this new urban era. It's where cities, towns, villages get to benefit from the latest technologies, infrastructure, and business models, which is really important as it helps cities to be more competitive, more efficient. It creates jobs. It gives people more access to services, opportunities, and jobs. And it helps businesses to essentially do business. So we've all seen what bad transport systems do to people and businesses. It's really negative. So it's all about embracing this new urban era.
Let's talk a bit about those challenges, that are faced by the mobility and transportation sectors, especially here on the continent, and how the summit intends to address them.
Yes, I think a big one is actually around the lack of trust between different players and modes of transport. And then there's a lack of trust from customers, whether that's around using rail, public transport services, or even trusting the new energy vehicles and the new technologies that are arising. So there's a need to solve this trust challenge. But then also people are spending huge amounts of time and money on getting to and from work. And this eats into their household income. And this is really due to a lack of transport options and due to previous spatial planning. So there are two of the key challenges, but others that we hear about, unfortunately, all the time are deaths and fatalities caused by cars and road traffic. And Africa has the highest deaths and fatalities in the world, and South Africa is not excluded from this. The other one, which we see, daily getting to and from work and moving around, is around congestion. And this is a huge problem that seems to continue to rise. And this holds people back. It wastes time. It means that people have unhealthy lifestyles because they're sat in the car for way too long. So there's a big need to ensure that transport serving people, reducing congestion, but making sure that people have access to accessible, safe, clean, and affordable transport options.
What economic benefits and opportunities will the summit provide on the continent?
So I think the first macro one to look at is that having good transport systems makes cities more efficient and productive. And this translates into making businesses more efficient and productive. So that creates more money in the economy, which can be invested into infrastructure, into services, but also it can lead to more business growth and then lead to an increase in jobs, in good jobs. So jobs is a big one that comes from improving transport, not just through the services, the new services that are provided, whether that's a new type of public transport or a rise in a new app that helps people to move around, but it's also through making sure that people can actually get to and from work. And many people are restricted in terms of the jobs they can access because of the transport services they have. If there's a really good business that happens to be just 50 kilometers away, but it takes 3 or 4 hours to get to that job, it may make that job not feasible. So there'll be a rise of job opportunities that come from moving towards smarter mobility. The other big one, and we're certainly championing this year at Smarter Mobility Africa, is around the investment opportunities. So we have launched an initiative called the Mobility Investment Projects. We have over 35 projects showcasing over $500 million of projects from transport providers from across Africa, so over 18 countries. So there's a huge investment opportunity to come into this sector.
And in terms of countries attending the summit, which other countries will be present apart from South Africa?
So there's countries from all over the world and Africa attending, but the countries which are attending in higher numbers include, and these are the countries which are really leading the way, Kenya, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Rwanda. These are countries that are really investing and innovating now around transport, whether that's on new rail projects, expanding buses with electric vehicles, or on new electric vehicle manufacturing services and apps. It's a really exciting time to be in transport, and we're thrilled that cities and countries from across Africa are coming to Gauteng to attend the event.
All right. Ben, thank you very much for your time this morning and all the best for that event next month.
Thank you.
That's Ben Pullen, the Group Director for Smarter Mobility Africa, joining us on the line there to tell us about the VUKA Africa Mobility hosting of the Smarter Mobility Summit in 2024 taking place in October. The theme is embracing the new urban era through smarter mobility.
That podcast was courtesy of Channel Africa, the African perspective.